Hey gang, what's going on? Juan here, and as we mentioned in podcast episode 119, the year is finally winding down. So that means it's time to bring back the Byte Awards, where we talk about some of the best and some of the worst in the WWE. In this case, in 2015, Ryan and myself actually had the pleasure, the honor of doing this live in person last year when he came over to Puerto Rico for my wedding. You can check out that video special edition of the podcast in the description box below. But that being said, for this year, we want to make sure we go one step further, add a little bit something special, some sass to it, and that is to get you involved into a YouTube specific video special where you get to pick on the exact same categories that we'll be having. So at the end of the year, you'll be having a podcast special where it's our Byte Awards, but then on YouTube, you'll be getting the Viewer's Choice Awards. And when can you vote? Right now. So we're going to be presenting the categories right now that you can pick. Do that in the comment section. It must be in this specific video for it to qualify for that award show. So with that being said, let's present the categories. Number 1, Change the Channel Award. Pretty self-explanatory. You have some great moments and you have some bad moments. But every now and then you get that moment where you think to yourself, I need a break. That was a little bit too much for me. I gotta change the channel. I gotta go walk this off. I gotta go to the bathroom, get some water. Something happened that just made you go away. Who's your pick for that? Let us know in the comment section. Number 2, Things WWE Shoved Down Our Throats Award. This is a little different, where it's something where it felt way too forced. Last year, $9.99 was a thing. We talked about many things that WWE did. You know, we always hear WWE Universe. This is not saying that it's good or bad, because there's good shoving down our throats. I will change this right now. But yeah, the point is something that WWE over-marketed towards us to the point where all of us, the community went, dude, that's enough. Like, we get it. We understand. Number 3, Feud of the Year. There are many rivalries that unfold in the WWE, not just in the main event. We've had great things this year. Kevin Owens versus John Cena, I know that's going to be brought up. It was a short-lived rivalry. I mean, it had multiple matches, but definitely it didn't carry over. But that is a good example of a possible feud of the year. Next up, Match of the Year. So maybe there's a good rivalry, but then there are memorable, great matches that you maybe go back and watch, or maybe you don't, but you think to yourself, man, that was such a good spot, such a great atmosphere. That crowd really played so well into the match. There are so much criteria for match selection that it's really hard. We could talk for hours about what is a great match or what constitutes as a match of the year. For me, I know firsthand there are multiple NXT matches that will be playing into this, which NXT is technically a category because it's part of the WWE. Rookie of the Year. This is an interesting category because last year this also meant NXT, but this year, you know, NXT has changed so much. The main roster has had a couple of new additions. So who is somebody that came in 2015? It has to be specifically this year that you think stood out, that, you know, is definitely a positive contribution to the roster. That is what Rookie of the Year is all about. Last year, Sting was involved because technically it was his first year in the WWE. So in a technicality, he was a rookie. Headline of the Year. This is one of the most unique categories that we have because it can be either about the announcement of a match, about the cancellation of a show, about an unfortunate passing, about somebody getting injured. Which headline did you read on Facebook or on a wrestling website or even in one of our podcasts that made you go, wow? Like, that's what this year was all about. Last year, we talked about the streak, Undertaker's streak coming to an end at WrestleMania. Even though other great things happened, it was the streak. Over 20 years in the making, that happened, and that is something that, looking down memory lane, when you think back 10 years, that's always going to be there no matter what. Biggest disappointment of the year. Once again, this is a very broad category, very broad award selection. It can be a feud that you were really looking forward to, but by the time it happened, you thought to yourself, as Keith would say, it was all right. Maybe it was a match that you were really looking forward to, and there just wasn't a lot of chemistry happening. Maybe it was a turn. It could be Los Matadores. They, took him off TV, disappeared. Nobody knows where they are. That is a disappointment. Maybe it could be El Torito. He's not WWE World Heavyweight Champion, and that makes you sad. All of those can be part of the biggest disappointment of the year. Next up, pay-per-view / show of the year. I know firsthand, spoiler alert, my pick is probably going to be an NXT TakeOver show because I have enjoyed those so much during this year. And they are probably one of the only shows I've actually gone back and rewatched, not just one match, but the whole thing. NXT Brooklyn, we've had Beast in the East, a good selection of shows happening this year in the WWE. Let us know which is your pick. Diva of the year. This is the year of the Diva Revolution. And more so than last year, there is a large variety. You have Nikki Bella, Brie Bella, Paige, Charlotte, Becky, Sasha Banks, just so many of them coming up to the main roster. But then on NXT, you have Alexa Bliss, you have Bayley, Nia Jax, Dana Brooke, Evil, Emma. There's a large selection, Asuka. Actually, really good category this year. I'm really looking forward to the picks. I'm looking forward to my pick for that matter. That's going to be interesting. And last, and certainly not least, Superstar of the Year. Because there can be many stars, there can be many wrestlers, but only one Superstar of the Year. Who is it? It can be somebody that you thought maybe just really shined through, has been in the company for a while, and maybe doesn't have to be champion, or maybe he's never been champion, but is willingly deserving of Superstar of the Year. It can be Seth Rollins, it can be Kevin Owens, it can be Samoa Joe, it can be Finn Balor, it can be Baron Corbin. You could even have Eva Marie win both Diva of the Year and Superstar of the Year. I don't know. I'm just throwing that ball out there. But once again, in order to make sure that you can participate, that your vote counts, your vote has to be submitted in the comment section below. All of these categories will be posted in the description, so you can copy and paste if you want, put a ... and then you can select your pick there. So that is a good way of doing it. Obviously, a lot of these may influence what we pick. It's been a long year. A lot of things have been happening inside of the WWE, and we can keep adding categories, but it gets to the point where it's ridiculous. Like, hypothetically, 2 bonus things. What has been your favorite WWE Network show of the year? And then another thing that we may be working on, what has been your favorite of some of your favorite Byte That moments? Not just in the podcast, but maybe it's a Fight Night quote, maybe it's a Fight Night match, maybe it's a Square Roundtable, something funny that happened in the podcast, maybe it's my face, maybe it's Ryan's room getting a makeover, I don't know. But let us know about all of these things. The year is coming to an end in the comment section below. Make sure to like and subscribe, because we will be continuing to bring on tons of podcasts, Square Roundtables, Fight Nights, discussion videos right here on the channel. We want to thank you also. We'll be doing this at the end of the year as well, but your support has been super great. We keep growing as a channel way quicker than we ever thought we would. And another year is going by and Byte That. It's crazy. We started this journey back in 2013, and we're getting so much community involvement. You guys really make us just feel awesome. The fact that you take your time, you watch our videos, you vote down here, and you feel like Byte That is something worth paying attention to. We know there's a ton of YouTube content, wrestling discussion. There's a million wrestling podcasts out there, yet for some reason you feel like we are one of the top picks, or we are part of your enjoyment, whether you listen to us at home, at work, in the bathroom, because I listen to podcasts in the bathroom. That's a thing while I shower. This is getting a little awkward. So thank you for watching, and we will continue to bring on more kick-ass content right here on Byte That.